Okay, guys, Casey here. Hey, good morning to you. I hope you're all doing well and getting out and using your vehicles and camping and just whatever you're doing. Get out and having a good time, enjoying life and making the most of it. I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of my custom Aluminess roof rack today. Something I've never done and been wanting to do, and I think you'll enjoy this. I was fortunate that when I ordered my Aluminess roof rack, they actually were allowing customizations. I don't think that they really do that anymore, which is unfortunate, but I'll tell you at least a little about my Aluminess roof rack and why I chose it and what I like about it, all right? So I'm going to start from the beginning and go through it. So first of all, let me give you the quick walkthrough. So from the front here, we've got, this is, I think they're like, I forget what they call this version, but it's got that nice kind of light bar in the front. I've got these seven of these Pro 6 KC HiLites LEDs. Of course, they're KC HiLites mounted to the front. I mount them differently. They're typically mounted in like a light bar fashion, where they're mounted on the sides and the wings. I modified it a little bit to mount to these to their feet to the roof rack here. It's totally stable, works great. I've aimed pretty far out. That's what these are really designed for, these lights. And then I have a custom fairing slash awning right here in the front, and I built that. That's out of 1/2-inch black HDPE plastic. You can see there's 3 sections. I built a little framework underneath, actually using the KC HiLites light mounts there, but which I didn't use, but they worked great for mounting to the round profile bar at the front of the roof rack here. And I built a little framework, metal framework that those are screwed down into. And then I actually used some high quality tape at the very front, the leading edge, just to kind of keep the wind from that leading edge catching. And then you can see I've got some L-track that I bolted in here. These are for like when I'm putting kayaks up here, really long kayaks and stuff. I can just kind of quickly attach those right down there. And then I've got recessed into the roof rack here, one big, very large solar panel. And this actually used to be 240 watt. This has now been upgraded about a 340 watt panel, simply the same size. Just simply upgraded it. And by the way, these are paw prints here. If you watch my previous video on animal climbs up to my roof rack, those are still remnants from the animal that climbed up here, which you have to watch that video, a little more about that. Anyways, this is, and you can see this is flush right here. So that was my purpose and intent, the way I had this roof rack designed and built for me by Aluminess. And so that I had this nice flush profile. The solar panel's not sitting up in the wind, catching more wind or anything like that. And then I did something similar also. I've got a Dometic 9500 electric awning here. So I just push a button and this thing goes in or out. And what I did is also mount on the very front these tree branch protectors. So let me see if I can get up here and hold this without, of course, falling down. And so these are bomb proof. I used an aluminum corner connector, a large one, built this and then put a 1/2-inch black HDPE on here. I'll go around the front and also show you that. I run my lighting cables and stuff down all into basically an electrical box. And so my lighting here, I've got, you can't see it from right here on the roof rack, but there's a pair of side lights on each side. Maybe on this side I can show you. Here's one right here on this side, and there's also one up in the front over here on this side, so you can see that right there. And there's also a tree branch protector in the front there too, built much the same way and bolted in through the roof rack. It's a little bit of a custom plate that I did. I've also got the same pair of lights on the passenger side. And then also on the rears are mounted below on the underside here. So that way any tree branches are ever to come over, just slide right over. And that's really what my intent was with these side rails, these low profile side rails, is that tree branches at the front would just simply hit, they would come up over. Anything on the side would not, if it was going to hit the lights, it'd be protected by these light protectors there and just get pushed around the lights and come on down. So far that's worked great. It's worked fantastic. I have had tree branches all the way up on top of this, rubbing across this roof rack. So back to roof rack here, I've got this kind of custom mount that I did of some fiberglass C-channel I had left over and some aluminum plate 1/4 inch, and then I bolted my roof rack through and it's mounted directly into the roof rack. So the awning is supported directly that way. But a couple of the bolts didn't line up at the back, so I built this kind of framework to bridge it here in the middle where they didn't line up with the Aluminess mounts, and mounted across, bridged across there to mount that. That thing is robust and strong and mounted in many places. So that awning is not coming down. The other thing I did is a custom bump out in addition to the solar panel, as you can see, is also this max fan and a bump out for that. That is down at the moment, but of course that's a wonderful bump out. You can see it's also very low profile, very, pretty much out of the wind when it's down. And in the back here, let me get to the MaxTrack mounts there in a moment. But before I do that, let me get back to the wiring, because there is so much wiring up here. I have a pair of lights on each side. So that's a pair of lights in the back, the set of lights in the front. So there's 4 electrical circuits. There's the electric awning. The awning also, that's 5. The electric awning also has lights. I have those on a dimmer, so that's 6 circuits. Then I also have an entryway light, so that's 7 circuits. I do have a separate ground, so instead of bringing up 7 different grounds for each circuit, I brought up 1 dedicated large ground. I think it's a number 10 wire. It comes up here, and underneath the solar panel is I've done a little bit on this in previous videos, but I did a large waterproof electrical connection box, and so each wire comes in its own separate waterproof grommet. I can't show you because it's under the solar panel, and it's intentionally under the solar panel so that any precipitation or snow that comes down doesn't even touch it. It's waterproof anyways. It's a single entryway into the van from the roof, and so all those wires pass through that way. And that's fantastic. And again, I have a common negative bus up there. So I have my 1 negative wire that comes up, and that saves me, reduces the number of wires to, I guess that's 8 wires is what I have coming up. I can't remember now. 1 positive for each of those 7 different circuits, and then the 1 big negative that's shared amongst them all. And I think I brought up an extra power connection up here too. So I could put lights up here or something if I want to, like holiday lights. So anyways, those will come into that common connection point there. It's waterproof. It's underneath the solar panel. So they're fully protected. I basically zip time to the bottom of this roof rack here in different places. I did add these 2 antennas after I added all my wiring and stuff, and it was too much of a pain to pull new wires through that 1 connection. So I decided to run a separate little negative wire over for my ground on these 2 antennas. This is a CB antenna, and this is a ham radio antenna. For those of you who know and recognize it, this ham radio antenna has been a little bent, but it's on a spring mount as well, and it's been bent because of the trees. The tree branches sometimes when you're on trails and things like that, just push it over, but it bends back. CB antenna also is on a spring mount, so it easily just folds away when needed. But this way they're always up, and so I can easily turn on needed radio at a time, and I can listen into friends or weather updates, or if anybody, I'm in a remote area, I like to always turn those on in case somebody's needs emergency help. I can hopefully receive their signal and be able to assist them in some way if possible. So that's what those antennas are for. And I did another video in the past on how I routed these cables up for each of these antennas, as I had them after the fact and didn't want to bring them through the roof connection I had. It would have been a lot of more work, so I routed them up exteriorly, and I walked through on how I did that. But staying on the roof rack, part of why I did this is with these 3-inch wide slats is so that I can always wrap around a cord, a bungee, strap, whatever. So I used to always put kayaks up here. Also, this shades the roof because these are 3-inch wide. This creates like a safari roof on the older Land Rovers, where it shades the roof and helps keep the van cooler, and yet gives me a big wide platform to walk on. I can lay up here, fully lay down. I can take sleep up here, look at the stars, which I've done that, or just get up and look around at the view like I'm doing up here for right now, which is lovely. Or look at the animal tracks up here that also like to come up here and look at the view. So that's why I want this wide slat, is so it could be walked on, laid on, be comfortable to be up here, and yet shade the van, and yet also still allow straps to be able to wrap around anywhere along here to tie stuff down onto it and be able to carry it. And also by having the solar panel recessed down into the roof rack, a kayak can go all the way right across along this, tie down to those front L-track mounts I have, right, and tie down anywhere along the back here, and it will not harm the solar panel, just goes right up over it. So that's my roof rack. Now onto the MaxTrack mounts. I'm going to do probably another video on different locations where you can mount a mounts track. There's a lot of different places you can put them on a van. What I found out when I was doing mine, this was the best place to put it. And so I put these Axle Max Track mounts up here through the roof rack. I can put 2 more. That's why they're so tall. They simply just lift, rotate and lift out to remove these. But I did put a little lock on here just to keep them secure, just in case they ever came, you know, loose, or at least got one little lock on here, padlock on there, combination mount, so I don't have to worry about like having the key or whatever. And there you go. And that's my my Max Track mount. Now, you guys, this lovely view as I walk down. And as I do that, you can see these animal tracks coming down the ladder here. So that's a pretty good paw print right there. Even right here too. So, and even on the top. So whatever walked up here, another paw print, whatever walked up here, it was pretty industrious. Oh, there's a good paw print even right there on the Max Track. Look at that. Yeah, so whatever walked up here really wanted to get up here. All right, so here's my lights on the outside. On one side, lights around on the front. My entryway light, my awning lights, my other side lights, my big tree branch protector in the front. It also acts as a really nice aerodynamic benefit to shield air around the awning and the lights, and then also a tree branch protector in the back. So if I'm backing up, also I'm protecting the awning from the rear, and at the same time it's also within the awning profile, so it doesn't catch a tree branch coming out the back. And then when I had this roof rack design, I had it extended longer, and I'm going to tell you why. One, to protect the backup cam, the factory backup camera. Also, I could mount these reverse lights underneath so they're protected, so I could back up into a tree branch and it's not going to harm those lights or the backup cam. And also, it seems like it may be elongated out, but if we do a straight line from the back of that roof rack on down, it basically stops right about at the rear bumper here, and the rear bumper, not the van compass rear step. And now that I've added this rear ladder spare tire carrier, obviously that protrudes out farther, but the intent was if I backed up into a tree branch, something, it would hit the roof rack first before I hit the van and everything else. So there you go. Here's what I think might have been my little bear track that came through last night and stepped there. It's at the van alarm off, but that's my roof rack. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some information out of it that you could glean. It might be helpful for your different build outs that you're doing on your vans or vehicles, and I hope you're getting out there and enjoying our lovely nature, these beautiful spaces that we have, and getting out and enjoying life and making the most of it when you can, and be good to others. And let me know your comments, anything else you'd like me to do in my videos, and I'll certainly provide more for you when I can. All right, cheers.